I'm Dave Nelson. Sadly, the United States' great experiment in democracy has been failing for some time now. We all sense that something is fundamentally wrong with the system that has allowed so much excess and destruction while we tolerate tragedies and excuse inaction. This is the richest nation in the world, and yet 1 in 3 of our kids is growing up hungry and with insecure housing, with radically increased chance of school dropout, mental health issues, and dramatically reduced economic opportunity. For 21 years, NAFTA has given us the opposite of what was advertised. We've got 1 million fewer jobs and declining wages here, while increasing jobs and abroad where worker environmental standards are appalling. Now the President and Congress are trying to push through the Trans-Pacific Partnership under the same premises. After September 11th, understandably acting out of fear, our government passed the Patriot Act, which has led to some of the worst abuses of power in any modern government. They're even persecuting and imprisoning some of the whistleblowers that try to alert us about their crimes. Animal agriculture has become a system of torture, suffering, pollution, and disease. Eating too much meat and dairy has been linked to cancer, heart disease, and diabetes. And animal agriculture also accounts for 51% of greenhouse gases worldwide. 97% of climate scientists agree that climate change is real and human-caused. We're already seeing the effects, and they're only going to get worse for our kids and our grandkids. Even the insurance industry and Department of Defense are making preparations for extreme weather disruption and resource-based conflicts. Other issues that we see are massive bee die-offs, educational unaffordability, student debt, systemic racism still, and runaway incarceration and an aggressive, violent foreign policy. And what's even more crazy is that despite all this bad news, like what we see on the media and in television, is a whole lot more like this idiot family of bullies from the movie Billy Madison who chant their praises as they drive off the cliff. O'Doyle rules! O'Doyle rules! So how did we get here? We've got thousands of committed groups and even some politicians working tirelessly on this stuff. The core issue, stifling progress on all these issues that we care about, has become crystal clear. It is money in politics. It is corruption. In 2010, the Supreme Court decided that corporations could spend unlimited money in secret on political advertising. This compounded and intensified a faulty legal interpretation known as corporate personhood that has been subverting the will of we the people throughout much of the United States history. Back in 1886, the Supreme Court first allowed a railroad monopoly to claim constitutional rights to avoid existing municipal and state laws. These rights, originally written for actual humans, have since been repeatedly expanded, much to our detriment. Corporations are a legal entity who derive all legitimacy from we the people, and so we should have the power to define them and their rules any way that we see fit. But the reality has been much different for some time now. It's legitimized buying and bribing politicians, and has allowed groups like ALEC to write most of our legislation meant to regulate their own industries, meaning changes that the rest of us work for elsewhere for our communities take a backseat to profit. So where does that leave us? Often frustrated, often powerless, feeling disengaged, feeling apathetic. Most folks probably believe they have more influence on a professional sports game from their couch than in their democracy. So to rectify this core anti-democratic problem, we must amend the Constitution to declare money is not speech, and so can't be regulated in politics, and corporations are not people, and therefore not entitled to rights under the Constitution. As a citizen or group, I urge you to make this democracy issue part of your regular routine. Make no mistake, it'll be a long process, but when Americans identify an egregious injustice, they rally, they organize, and they unite to make a new self-evident truth. Another key area, learn from past movements, but also we need to work on ourselves, using personal development as a lens to understand what's stopping us from being more engaged citizens. Is it skills and strategies, or do we have some limiting beliefs or emotions that are preventing us from getting more involved? I tell you, despite all this being a huge passion of mine, it's also been a primary source of frustration and overwhelm. Having battled depression a lot of my life has made personal and community development pretty difficult. But I'm turning a corner, one thing, one step at a time. If we can overcome our fears and any awkwardness about being better neighbors and more involved citizens, imagine what we can accomplish. If you agree this is important, think about how you might be able to make civics a habit or democracy a hobby. We can stumble forward together, and I promise you it is fun, and activists are some of the most authentic, caring folks you'll ever meet. And it's a nonpartisan issue. 85% of people believe corporations have too much power. Let us use this common ground to embrace a new civic engagement.